Is Chris Paul auditioning for the Rockets, or is the Rockets auditioning for Chris Paul this year?
I like what you did there. And it's the latter. The Rockets are auditioning for Chris Paul because if it was the other way around, guess what he would do? He would sign. So he's allowing his options to play themselves out and allowing this season to do the exact same thing. Because while we're going to marvel at their backcourt, and they will be terrific, he and James Harden, probably going to be the most productive backcourt in the game, they still have some holes to fill up front. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out as the season progresses. And more importantly, we all know the Banana Boat Boys all trying to be free agents at the same time.
We know that. We know that. Like, I don't know why no one's talking about this except for Jalen Jacoby. We've got Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Paul all just so happen to be free agents at the end of this year. And it's just like, oh, it's a coincidence. There's a reason Chris Paul has only signed. He could have had a max deal this year. He's not a young man either. That probably would have been financially the smart thing to do. But you know there's a group text somewhere that said, summer 2018, we're all going somewhere. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I wouldn't be surprised if at least two of those players were on the same team. What do you think about the potential for Carmelo to join? Because I feel like having James Harden and Chris Paul works in the Drew League. We're not sure if it works in the league. With the idea that Carmelo only wants to waive his no-trade clause to go to Houston seemed to make it even a bigger experiment, which might be one of the reasons Chris Paul is like, let me not sign long-term quite yet.
This is why if you're the Houston Rockets, you try to get Carmelo Anthony in tow. Because now all of a sudden that creates another anchor to give you an opportunity to hope you keep Chris Paul at the end of this season. And so for Carmelo, being acknowledged that that's the team that he possibly wants to play for, don't underestimate the Oklahoma City Thunder as a dark horse in this situation too.
Wait,
but I agree with you. Adding Carmelo does give them a jolt. And it's going to be a different look. They're going to have to play more traditional basketball. If you watch Mike D'Antoni's teams play since the Phoenix Suns days, he either likes to have 4 players or 5 players around the three-point line that are catch and knock down shooters. Now with Harden and Chris Paul, it's going to be a lot more downhill, a lot more pick and roll, playing within the arc. The same with Carmelo Anthony. He likes to massage that thing like Adrian Dantley.
Yeah, it's not 7 seconds or less. With Carmelo, it's 7 seconds before I dribble.
No doubt. It's not going to be like Ryan Anderson catch and shoot or Eric Gordon catch and shoot. So the dynamics of how they play basketball are going to be more traditional, and they need to be. It's almost like Chip Kelly in the NFL. You have to find a way to milk the clock at some point in time.
That's a good point.
The same thing for the Houston Rockets. You have to diversify your offensive portfolio and create a level of balance to make the other team have to not only guard the 3-line, but obviously guard the rest of the floor.
Well, when once there was a lot of discussion about Carmelo Anthony going to Cleveland, it now seems that he has whittled it down to just Houston, and we will see how this year plays out for that Houston Rockets team.